Could ChatGPT Voice be the new shortcut to learning new languages? No more breaking the bank on tutors or chasing down language partners to practice. OpenAI's latest update is flipping the script on how we pick up new languages. Just like you, I've been there. I felt the challenges, from being too shy to speaking in a new language to struggling to find time to practice. I'm excited to show you how this tool has become a real Swiss Army knife in my language learning toolkit. ChatGPT's latest update shows the AI is here to stay in a big way. Over the last year, we witnessed how competitors have been building ChatGPT plugins for text-to-speech. What they probably didn't know is OpenAI was already working on this feature all along. The new voice feature is showing massive potential, especially for language learning. They envision ChatGPT to be a one-stop shop for all of your AI needs. This includes image generation, web access, audio, image recognition, and a lot more features on the horizon. But is ChatGPT a one-stop shop for language learning? Let's find out. Before getting started, let's not forget, we all had our ups and downs with ChatGPT. There have been struggles with inaccuracies, the so-called hallucinations, and limited support for non-English languages. To be clear up front, the latest update enhances ChatGPT's features without altering the core ChatGPT 4 model, which was trained with data up to January 2022. Accuracy issues of sporadic hallucinations are still to be expected. Disclaimer aside, make sure to stick around until the end, where I'm going to show you a particularly awesome feature of the new ChatGPT release. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
When you meet your gods, you tell them Shagga, son of Dolph of the Stone Crows, sent you.
I am Tyrion, son of Tywin of Clan Lannister.
How would you like to die, Tyrion, son of Tywin?
In my own bed, at the age of 80, with a belly full of wine and a girl's mouth around my...
That's right, I just reenacted a scene from Game of Thrones using ChatGPT as my dialogue partner. So why would this be useful? I personally learn languages a lot by watching movies or TV series, but there's a difference between comprehensible input and passively listening as opposed to dynamically interacting with the content. Practicing dialogue is an immersive approach that ties words and phrases to memorable scenes, enhancing retention. Your brain is making an emotional connection. This method also caters to personal interests, making learning more enjoyable and varied. Additionally, it sharpens listening skills by exposing learners to different accents and speech patterns. Let me show you how to do this. First, I'm giving the AI instructions. I'm going to be using my laptop for this, so I can pull up the script on my screen. One thing to note here, on desktop, you do not have access to the new voice feature yet. For voice control, I'm actually currently using a free Chrome plugin called VoiceWave. Connect to the internet and look for the Lord of Rings scene where Gollum talks to himself as Smeagol. Return a line-by-line dialogue for me to practice. I'd like the language to be in German. Being able to connect to the internet is really nice and simple, and I feel it's a really big improvement for my current workflow with ChatGPT. While I skipped ahead to the completion of this task to spare the wait, in reality, this feature is very slow at this stage. I had to wait around 30 to 40 seconds for this task to complete. I'm sure this will drastically improve in the future, but for now you might want to consider using the ChatGPT feature in Bing instead for a speed up. Now let's reenact this scene. I will be using my cell phone for this. Make sure you have the latest version of the app installed. One caveat here. The voice feature and internet feature are currently only available if you have a ChatGPT Plus subscription, which comes with a price tag of $20 a month. If you can afford it, I can absolutely recommend to get the subscription. Just alone, the AI capabilities and accuracy of ChatGPT 4 are far superior compared to the free version, which is version 3.5. I'm using ChatGPT 4 every single day. Back to my cell phone. If you jump to the settings, you can choose your voice of preference. As for the language selection in the menu point below, I leave the setting on auto detect since I like switching between languages when I'm talking to ChatGPT Voice. After choosing the voice, you're ready to go. On my laptop, I have the script in front of me so I can read from it. First, I'm pulling up the conversation I already started on my laptop on my cell phone. Then I click on the headphone icon to get started with the voice chat. I will instruct the AI first to make sure it behaves exactly the way I want it to. Let's do a roleplay session to practice languages. I will be taking the role of Gollum, you will be delivering Smeagol's lines. If words are within parentheses, do not speak them out loud. Once I start with Gollum's first line, go ahead and play your part.
Klar, ich bin bereit, Sméagols Rolle im Dialog zu übernehmen. Sobald du mit Gollums erster Zeile beginnst, antworte ich als Sméagol. Beginnen wir, wenn du bereit bist.
Wir wollen ihn. Wir brauchen ihn. Wir müssen ihn haben, den Schatz. Sie haben uns den Schatz gestohlen. Garstige kleine Hobbitze. Böse, tückisch, falsch.
Nein, nicht der Herr.
Doch, mein Schatz. Falsch. Die betrügen dich, tun dir weh, lügen.
Der Herr ist mein Freund.
Isn't this a rather fascinating way of practicing languages? Imagine reenacting your favorite movie scenes while increasing your listening, speaking, and vocabulary skills. I'm really looking forward to the day where I can enter the movie directly in VR to do this, while the AI is using the actual voices of the actors. But for now, let's try another more hands-on approach. In order to improve my French, let's play a roleplay game in French. Take the role of a young French woman in a Parisian cafe. You're sitting by yourself when I approach you. By way of dialogue, practice flirting with me. The character of the woman that you're taking on can be charming, witty, confident, and a bit audacious. Keep the length of your responses at around 1 to 2 sentences. The difficulty of this conversation should be C1. If I make any obvious mistakes, break role, correct me, and then reassume your role. Acknowledge that you understand your task with a simple understood, and begin the conversation once I deliver the first dialogue line.
Understood.
Salut ma petite fleur, qu'est-ce que tu fais là toute seule? Il faut admettre, je te trouve absolument charmante.
Merci pour le compliment, c'est très gentil. Je profite simplement de l'atmosphère de ce café. Et toi, que fais-tu dans ce joli coin de Paris?
Je parie que tu adores les surprises. J'en ai une assez unique, mais cette surprise est un peu timide.
Oh, une surprise? Tu attises ma curiosité. Dis-moi, c'est quoi cette surprise timide? J'adore les énigmes.
Elle se cache actuellement dans mon pantalon. Ça te dirait de venir la découvrir plus tard chez moi?
Je préfère les surprises plus subtiles et respectueuses.
Okay, jokes aside, you can already see the potential of this. Imagine the countless conversations you can have with this tool. Having to prepare for a job interview in Italian? È un gioco da ragazzi. Practicing small talk in German or learning how to order food in French? C'est du gâteau. One thing I'd like to point out here, there's currently no way of controlling the speed of this voice feature. Since text-to-speech is delivered at a quick pace, in my opinion, ChatGPT Voice is mostly suited for advanced language learners. Hopefully, in the future, OpenAI can provide us with a speed setting to slow things down when needed. I tried to practice Chinese with ChatGPT Voice and have to admit my level is not quite there yet. It was a rather frustrating experience. Now let's look at how we can give the tool some more specific instructions to make the output of the AI more predictable. This can be very useful, especially at a beginner stage or when trying to learn unfamiliar language content. I'll be inputting the following data using my laptop since I prefer typing with a tactile keyboard. Teach me languages through roleplay. You take the role of my Portuguese teacher to practice my speaking skills. If I make any grammatical mistake, correct me and explain what was wrong with my sentence in English. After correcting me, or if there was no mistake, continue the conversation in Portuguese. Keep the length of your responses at around 1 to 2 sentences. The difficulty of this conversation should be beginner level A1. As you can see in the segment below, I'm giving specific instructions to ChatGPT, telling it how to behave during our conversation. I will be posting a PDF containing all of my ChatGPT prompts in the description of this video that you can then open, copy, paste into your own ChatGPT session and then modify at will. Bom dia, professora. Como foi o seu fim de semana?
Bom dia, meu fim de semana foi ótimo, obrigada. E o seu como foi?
Foi ótimo, obrigado. Eu fui na praia, mas estava muito frio.
Correction. You made a mistake there. It's better to say in Portuguese. Foi ótimo, obrigado. Eu fui à praia, mas estava muito frio. Explanation. In Portuguese, we use a, mas a, instead of na when talking about going to a place like the beach. Continuation. Que pena que estava frio. Você gosta de ir à praia?
Acima, eu gosto muito da praia. Eu também. Ontem eu comi grande peixe.
Correction. You made a mistake there. It's better to say in Portuguese. Eu gosto muito da praia. Ontem eu também comi grande peixe. Explanation. Acima is not used in this context. The correct structure is to start with eu gosto and then describe the action separately, like ontem eu também comi. Que legal. Que tipo de peixe você comeu?
Foi grande peixe. Entendi, eu sempre esqueço essas regras.
Correction, you made a mistake there. It's better to say in Portuguese, foi peixe grande. Entendi? Explanation. In Portuguese, the adjective grande usually comes after the noun peixe. Also, entendeu is more formal or past tense. Entende is more suitable for this conversation. Sim, eu entendo. Não se preocupe, aprender uma língua leva tempo. Você pratica português com frequência?
As you can see, this is a very powerful way of practicing, getting direct input on the mistakes that you make. For some more passive listening, since now we can directly connect to the internet, how about listening to some movie reviews in a different language while cooking, doing chores at home, working out, or driving to places? Hey ChatGPT, connect to the internet and bring up a short Spanish review of the latest Spider-Man movie and read it to me as a quick overview in Spanish. Keep the length at 15 seconds.
He encontrado una reseña en español de la última película de Spider-Man. Aquí va un resumen corto. Spider-Man No Way Home, la tercera entrega y cierre de la trilogía, dirigida por John Watts y protagonizada por Tom Holland, es una película llena de sorpresas que no defraudará a los fans. Es destacada por ser un motivo para regresar a los cines, con una recaudación esperanzadora para Marvel en esta era pandémica. Divertida, enérgica y con un final maduro, satisface tanto a fans acérrimos como a neófitos del género, equilibrando fanservice y una narrativa seria.
Once done, print a list of key vocabulary for me to learn. Exported Excel spreadsheet formatted in a Anki-friendly flashcard way. Yes, exactly. Isn't this awesome? You've seen correctly. You can now tell ChatGPT to create a number of different file types for you. Having the ability to tell it to create flashcard spreadsheets on the fly that you can then ingest into your flashcard app of preference is a huge time saver. Of course, nobody forces you to just stick to the format that ChatGPT proposes. If you wanted to add example sentences or list each card twice, once from source to target language, once from target to source language, just give it some more accurate instructions. Enhance the spreadsheet by listing each word twice, once in the source to target language, once in the target to source language. For each card, in a new line within the same cell, add an example sentence in the respective language at difficulty level B2. If a word is a noun, make sure to add the appropriate gender-based article. Make sure the example sentences are in the same cells as the words themselves, but make sure to add 2 line breaks before adding an example sentence. Respect the following format. As you can see below, I'm instructing ChatGPT exactly how to set up the spreadsheet. In column 1, row 1, we're setting up the target word first, and on the other side of the card in column 2, we're setting up the source language, and then in row 2, we're flipping it around and we're teaching it how to set up first the source language and then display the target language on the back of the card. This is a method that I'm using frequently to learn languages. I'm translating both from source to target and from target to source, and it comes with a huge advantage if you get into the habit of doing this. Wow, I'm impressed. Look at this. Creating flashcards like this can be a huge time saver, don't you think? It took about 50 seconds for ChatGPT to complete this request, and it seems the information is all there. You can of course now go in there and manually adjust the data if needed. Feel free to grab my prompts in the description below and experiment with them. So what's the verdict? It's apparent. The new voice and internet features of ChatGPT are game changers, opening up a world of immersive and interactive language learning experiences right at your fingertips. No more wrestling with incompatible schedules or feeling stuck without a practice partner. But let's not forget, even with these shiny new tools, the road to language mastery is not without its bumps. A few things to keep in mind. If you can afford $20 per month, ChatGPT Plus offers advanced capabilities, yet imposes a limitation of 40 messages every 3 hours. Once you surpass that limit, you have to switch to version 3.5 until the limit is reset. Until then, new features like voice, image creation with DALL-E 3 and internet are on hold too. OpenAI shakeup. ChatGPT's visionary and face of OpenAI, Sam Altman, just got kicked out of the company by its own board of directors. Since then, he joined Microsoft, apparently together with some senior staff that followed him. This move has stirred the waters. Some pundits claim OpenAI has not just shot themselves in the foot, but instead blown the whole torso off. The impact of these changes on the future of ChatGPT seems a bit hazy. While Altman was a guiding force, his departure and subsequent internal upheavals have left many wondering about the direction OpenAI will take. The previous sentiment that OpenAI would be one of the most influential companies on planet Earth suddenly seems to have shifted towards, well, uncertainty. In resume, ChatGPT's latest update is in fact like a Swiss Army knife for language learners. Versatile, innovative, but in many aspects still in its infancy. Is ChatGPT a one-stop shop for language learning? Absolutely not. But but it doesn't have to be. As long as you're able to benefit from its ability to teach you, provide you with valuable information and practice with you, you are speeding up your language learning process, and that's what counts. One other thing I'd like to mention, the importance of human interaction in language learning cannot be overstated. AI can mimic, guide, and challenge, but it can't replace the nuances and richness of conversing with real people. In the end, these tools are here to complement, not replace, the human element in language learning. Remember, language learning is a journey filled with both tech wizardry and good old-fashioned human interaction. Embrace both and you are on your way of becoming a polyglot. Guys, thanks so much for joining me on this exploration on ChatGPT's latest features. If you found this insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more language learning content. Keep learning, and here's to your language learning journey. Adios, au revoir, до свидания, 再见. Have a good one.